Shalom and welcome to my virtual recording in San Francisco, which you can see it's not true because as my head moves, you see the screen split. But just wanted to do a video. I haven't done one on YouTube in a while. But today I wanted to talk about something that I've been talking about, a new friend of mine, and it's called the sense of awe in life. And I think we can find out that this is a problem that many people face. Now, as you know, I'm not an expert. I am a scholar within my own understandings. I am not a school scholar. I am basically someone who's picked up on my life journey, have joined and learned what I have learned upon the way. So I want to make that, that I am sharing from my journey and from my understanding, and I'm not here to set dogma or precedents for anyone. But I was thinking today, as I have been talking with this gentleman, about the sense of awe in life and how many people are just missing it. And I think this is the reason why so many people are facing depression and anger and fear and lonesomeness and things of this nature, because we have been cut off from the world around us. And what I mean is the practice that everything is one, that everything has a soul, that everything, I know Spinoza, the great Jewish philosopher, talked about this. And I know that, pagan understanding, and it's different names, animism and things of this nature. But really, it's all the story that everything is connected. And even Kabbalah includes this too, to some extent. And I think it's really things that we really miss in life, that we're into the books, that we're into history so much that we lose fact of where we are and what's going on in today's world. Let me change hats and see if this helps. Yeah, hold on. How about no hat at all? That way it won't bleed in the screen. Or you may say, please put a hat on because you're blinding me with your bald head. But the thing is we have to understand that there is a connection with everything. Now, in most religious dogma, we are taught that you have to come in, that man is the head and we're in charge of everything. And whatever you do is good. As long as you follow this book, you're good. But in essence, when you sit back and look at the animal kingdom or the plant kingdom, we're really no better than them. We think we have an intellect and a knowledge that they don't have, but yet these species of animals and plants have lived on for millions of years through very hard conditions. So they have an intellect and they have an intelligence that we don't have, because man is just not that old. And we seem to find a way to blow ourselves up quite often, as you can see with what's going on in the Middle East right now in the war. So we are connected and we can actually learn from things. But in life, we have to be seeking for that awe. We have to be seeking for that thing that just keeps us living. I am 58 years old. And when I was in Christianity, it was the spiritual, the Pentecostalism, the spiritual that kept me going, because the basic dogma just did not carry me. And within Judaism, it wasn't the religion, the halakha and stuff of that nature. It was the Kabbalah, the spiritual of understanding things. And even with the Gnosticism, it's not the plain dogma that they follow. It's the spiritualism that I'm seeking. And even in paganism, there are people within Norse paganism and stuff like that who are just happy with the reactivating the past and trying to bring back that. And that's cool. I have no problem with bringing back and living this way. I don't care. But it's the spirituality that I seek, because I pride myself on being a spiritual person. Sometimes it's harmful. Sometimes it'd be just so easy to find a dogma and just camp out and settle there. But it's just something that I can't do, because as you too said, and I use this all the time, there's more out there. And that's what I'm looking for. And as many as you know, as I'm Jewish and, and seeking within the paganism, the spiritualists, the Gnosticism side of things, you come across a lot of truths. Hey, man, at one time, the Jews were exactly what I'm seeking. They were spiritual. They were pagan. They were going back to nature. They were listening to Mother Earth and bringing that back. And I really feel this is the sense of awe on my journey that I am finding, that within even my own Hebrew understanding, that there is a calling that's deeper than the normative Judaism that we see. And I'm not criticizing, coming against anybody where you're at. That's where you're at. It's fine. But in my senses, I'm sharing my journey. I find awe in nature. And as I've said this before, I have chickens, and me and the chickens have a bond. I used to let my daughter feed the chickens and get the eggs. And being a teenager, it just wasn't a priority. And I sensed the humanity side of the chicken, which, if that makes any sense, that, the Talmud teaches that you don't eat until your animals eat first. And I really believe that. And I feed my dogs in the morning and when I'm home. And then the chickens, I feel like, they don't get fed to the afternoon, but yet they're going to get fed. It doesn't matter what. And when I go out there, I just don't go throw the feed and get their eggs. It's an awe that I give these chickens food, my leftover food, seed, feed, water. And then they give me these wonderful eggs that in turn my dogs and I eat. I mean, it's just a beautiful circle of life that we do. But many people miss that. It's a beautiful experience. And even with, my wife and I, we do a lot with plants. We don't have big gardens. We're getting older, but we did have big gardens at one time. But even with the plants, I took, my daughter makes avocado guacamole all the time. So I started taking the seeds and just planting them. And finally, I have a beautiful avocado tree that I have brought in for the winter. But it's about 2.5 feet. It's a beautiful tree. I don't care if it ever produces or not. It's the fact that I am creating life out of a seed that we ate, and now we're putting it back in the ground, and maybe it'll produce again. And even like when you plant flowers and you see how they come up at different times of the year, I can't say it, but you know what I'm saying, that they come up and then they die, and then next year's they come up again. That is a beautiful awe. Or when you go out at night, I get up at 12 o'clock in the morning. So I get in my car about 1:15 to head to work, and the beautiful moon and the beautiful stars that are out. And then the deer, you see the deer and the cats and skunks and possums. Just life just continues going. Sometimes we think as humans that when we're not involved, life doesn't exist. But there's a whole ecosystem going on that you're missing because you're so caught up within what you're doing. I mean, in this generation with gaming and total TV and news coverage and stuff, and I'm into it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not being a hypocrite. But we miss so much of the awe of life because we don't shut these things down. You can just go out in your backyard. If you live in the city, if you're poor, rich, it doesn't matter. Go to the mall, go to the store and sit on the bench and watch people. Just watch nature, watch things happen. Pick you out a plant in downtown, like in Social Circle where I live, and there's certain plants that grow next to the well or whatever. Notice those things every season. It's life is amazing is what I'm trying to say. But if you rest yourself upon dogma in a particular book and that's what you're living by, you're going to miss all this. Because now, if you truly took the book at its value, you would be forced to look at nature and Mother Nature, because even I know the Torah deals a lot with nature. It deals a lot with gardening, planting, how to use the bathroom and outside. There's a lot of things the Torah deals with. New Testament, not so much, but it does tell you that Nate talks about nature and stuff like that. The Quran, don't know. But I do know there's a lot of these books. And the thing is if you get locked in a book and you get into the dogma, you're going to miss a lot of what life offers you. So what am I saying? Go back to be Norse, be a Viking and dress up like that? No, if that's what you want to do, that's what you need to do. But what I'm saying is to get into the spirituality and look at the creation myths of all these faiths. And as a friend of mine, Neo, on Facebook and YouTube, we talk a lot. The stories are the same. The characters have changed, but the whole creation, the God thing, I mean, you may have a turtle, you may have a giant, you may have whatever. And then you get into the God and the goddesses. It goes back and forth. With ancient Hebrew, it was Asherah, Elion. You get into all the different gods that these foreign cultures had brought forth. And the thing is, it's a total awe to me. This is what keeps me going. This is, I'm 58. I work all the time. I love my family. I don't get enough time with them, but I do. When I do, I sit. I'm just in the middle of the family so I can be a part of it. That's an awe to me, is just sit next to my wife as she drinks coffee and reads and I'm doing my thing. It's just being in contact. So open yourself up, wake up, go outside, get your coffee, go outside and just sit on your porch. If you live in an apartment, go sit on your balcony, get you a chair, sit on the front and just look at life. Even if you live in the most concrete, no life areas, you can find life through bugs, just nature. Get back to it. I'm serious. But it's all about the sense of awe. And I'm sorry, this is kind of cluttered because it just hit me. My inspiration comes like this. But I really want you to get back to get into and looking for the awes of life that just blow your mind spiritually, physically, whatever. Just go and enjoy life. Get out of the rat race. Get in back with nature. And I'm not saying be a hippie. If that's what you want to do, be a hippie. But that ain't what I'm saying. I'm just saying find your place within nature and come back to earth. Come back to Mother Earth. Come back to the old ways. Come back to the old gods. Put your many of the new gods different way. But anyway, find the awe. And I promise you, you'll love me forever. Thank you. And again, I'm not coming as a scholar or an expert. It's just me sharing my experience. And I'm sure you could find plenty of holes in which things that I've said, but I don't care because I'm sharing my experiences, not my knowledge. Now, if we want to talk about knowledge, we can do that, but this is not a educational knowledge. This is a sharing experience. So enjoy, have a great day, get out there, find the awe back in your life so that you can live free and full. Thank you.